find it on the dictionary, or if you are teaching kids or youngsters, and they ask you like, oh, teacher, how am I supposed to know, how is this word pronounced? And they ask you about the stress, you should be able to explain to that person, you know what, the stress can be either this way or this way depending on the format of the dictionary. So stress is simple. Everybody knows what stress is. Stress, as we call it in Spanish, accent, right? Acento. Stress is simply a degree of intensity, or loudness placed on a vowel. Okay. Remember, the loudness or the stress should be on a vowel and should not be on a consonant. Okay, consonant sounds cannot be stressed. Vowel sounds are the ones stressed. So here is simply an example, okay, of words that can be stressed or where those words should be stressed in English. Like, for example, if they are two-syllable words or if they are adjectives, they usually get stressed somewhere. Okay, so there are many rules for stress in English that you should find in order to make your students clear. There are different types of stress. The first one, which is the main stress or the primary stress, okay, both can be correct. It's simply the syllable in a word with the most powerful intensity or loudness. Okay, so if I say, for example, right, important. Okay, important. You are able to hear which syllable I am pronouncing with the most powerful intensity. So in this case, it's poor. Well, I'm not sure if there is anybody here with that problem, but you as teachers, I'm sure you have faced, right? You have encountered or faced this situation before. Some people, for some reason, have a lot of problems or a very hard time identifying stressed syllables, even in Spanish. Okay, even though they know how to speak Spanish, when you ask them, oh, you know what, which of these syllables have the most, let's say, intense, I don't know, loudness or pronunciation, and then they say, you know what, I have no idea. There are some tricks or some tips or some things that you can do to get the stress syllable in your mind. As soon as you hear, for example, important, don't pronounce it. Just what we call in Spanish tararea. Okay, just do this, right? Okay, and try just to represent the sound and not the pronunciation of the word, because when you pronounce the word, you say, oh, important, and then you make different stresses where they should not be, because you are pronouncing the word in isolation. But when you pronounce the word to the student, say, oh, important, make that student represent what that person hears, but just without any sounds, just by okay. If you say which of these three syllables you hear more strongly, and then you will see that the second one is more strong or is stronger. So you will definitely get the main stress immediately. Okay, that's just for the main stress. Some people, as I said, they have problems identifying the stress, but when you find it in a dictionary, okay, because they will be able to find the stress in a dictionary, they will be able to see these two possibilities. Okay, there's one which is like an apostrophe, okay, which is on top right before the stressed syllable. About. In this case, this is signaling that the next syllable will be stressed. The other one is simply like a Spanish tilde, okay? Just like this. Either one is okay. It's just different, let's say, systems, okay? Like the IPA, well, there are many other phonetic systems also, okay? So the secondary stress, as you can see here, okay, words, and as I said before, words that have, let's say, 3 or more syllables, I gave you as an example a 4-syllable word before, that usually the 2 syllables will be stressed and the other one will be reduced to schwa, right? Well, this is not an exception. In this case, these 2 different ways to represent. The first one, as I said before, right, this apostrophe goes before or right before the stressed syllable, which is te in this case, okay? Telephone. It's not telephone, but telephone, okay? Telephone. The second syllable is totally reduced, which means it's unstressed. And then this little line here, which is like a comma, okay? It's like an apostrophe, but it goes below, right? The transcription. This little symbol represents the secondary stress, which means phone is also stressed, but not as stressed as te. Te will have the main stress, and then the secondary stress will be in phone. An example of a short word that had these 2 stresses is hotel. Okay, some people ask me, like, so what is the pronunciation, hotel or hotel? Well, believe it or not, that's one of the few English words that have 2 stresses, even though that word is only 2 syllables. So both syllables are stressed. So you say hotel, okay? And here you can see there is a new symbol, which is like a French tilde, okay? Well, French has different tildes. It has the Spanish one, and then also this one, which is like an upside down Spanish tilde. So this represents a secondary stress, okay? Telephone. So both are okay. So if you find the second representation, now you know why it has this little tilde. Or if you find this one, now you know why it has this little kind of like comma, similar to a comma, right? Symbol. It's a secondary stress. It means you should pronounce that syllable. And then the last stress, which is not a stress, but it occurs or it exists, is zero stress. It means unstressed. It means no force at all in that syllable. Okay, like in telephone. Okay, telephone. The second one is unstressed. This says this type of stress is usually not marked. Okay, so there is no graphic representation as you can see here in telephone, right? There's no graphic representation for the l sound. However, in this system here, okay, the one with the tildes, sometimes you get like a curved thing on top of the unstressed syllable, a curved thing like this, okay? So sometimes you will see this over the vowel, over a specific syllable in a word. If you see this, it means that specific syllable is totally unstressed. So you should not pronounce it loudly. Okay? So I wanted to include an example here, but it was really hard for me to put this thing on top of a vowel. Okay, it was so hard, so I couldn't do it. Anyways, this is just about stress. As you can see, this is mostly the system that we find in pretty much almost all the dictionaries, okay, which is the one with apostrophe, okay? This apostrophe means the first syllable is stressed in these three words, okay? Like parent, quiet, seldom, okay? Any questions? Very good. Okay. Intonation. Well, intonation is something that we should take advantage of, because the intonation in English is similar to the intonation in Spanish. We have high or raising intonation, right? And we have low or falling intonation for expressing different things, different ideas, okay? Depending on our intonation, we can even change the meaning of the utterance. It's not the same saying, for example, he likes it with falling intonation than saying, for example, he likes it with rising intonation, right? The first one is a statement. I am making clear that he does like it. And the second one is a question. I want somebody to confirm that he likes it, okay? Um, there are some other things that intonation can express, and you will see that. Falling intonation indicates definiteness or completeness. It means that when you make that falling intonation, is like the end of what you have said. Okay? If I don't make that falling intonation, it gives the person the sense of, oh, he's going to continue speaking. Okay? He hasn't finished yet. Right? Okay. So, types of sentences. Yes? Any questions? No? Okay. The types of sentences that usually have this falling intonation is are in this case ordinary statements. What is an ordinary statement? Is simply an affirmative sentence. Okay, I say, for example, oh, he plays soccer. I am finishing the utterance by lowering the intonation. He plays soccer, and then I drop the intonation at the end. Double H questions. Okay? In double H questions, you don't raise your intonation. You say, for example, oh, what's your name? What's your name? I don't say what's your name. No. What's your name? And then I drop the intonation at the end. Imperative sentences or commands. Open the door. Right? Open the door. And then I drop the intonation at the end. And then exclamatory sentences. Whoa, that's amazing, right? That's amazing. That's an exclamatory sentence. I don't say, that's amazing. No, that's amazing. I am making, this final drop at the end. And then we have rising intonation, which gives the impression that something else is to follow. As I said, it means that, or it kind of like gives you the sense that I haven't finished. For example, if I tell you, something I really like, and then I finish the sentence there, it's like you're kind of like expecting or waiting for something else to go after I told you that, because I put the intonation up. It's like rising intonation. You say, oh, something I like, it means something else is coming. Say, oh, something I like is going to the beach and sitting down there just watching the waves. Now I'm dropping the intonation, so you know that I finished the utterance. Okay, but as soon as you keep the intonation up, the person is going to be attentive, waiting for something else to be said. So the types of sentences that go with rising intonation, usually yes, no questions. Okay, do you like it? I'm raising my voice at the end, so do you like it? Then it is um, rising intonation. Then you have tag questions. Obviously, in the part of the tag question, not before the comma. Before the comma is simply a statement. So I'd say, for example, oh, you like English, don't you? And now I'm making the rising, of my voice. So, oh, you are the teacher, aren't you? And now I'm making the tag question at the end. Introducing phrases, like the one I gave you before, like, do you know something, or you know something I like? Now I'm introducing what I'm about to say. Okay, this is an introductory phrase for something I am about to say. Okay, for example, the most important thing in life. Now I am raising my voice and then finish it with, oh, is this, right? So I am giving an introduction of something I am about to say. Usually that is with raising intonation. Alternatives, before or. Okay, do you want coffee or tea? Right, before the or, it goes with high intonation. Okay, do you want coffee or tea? And then enumerating or listing things. It means when you start like saying things, like numbering things, like for example, um, what's your favorite food? Well, I like pizza, right? The intonation keeps up. Pizza, salad, um, you know, and then the one that you say at the end, you drop the voice. Then, okay, you say, oh, I like pizza, salad, fruit, and I don't know, bread. Until you won't say, let's say, until you don't say the last word, you don't follow, you don't fall, or you don't drop your voice. Okay, basically, as soon as you start enumerating, all the words will keep a high tone until the last word, which is voice dropping. However, that, as I said, well, Spanish is similar to English, but not all the languages in the world work the same. Okay, so there are some languages called tonal languages, which in fact the tone or the intonation can make a different word, not a different meaning in the utterance. Okay, like in English, oh, this is a statement or this is a question. No, in some Asian languages, mostly, okay, mostly Mandarin, which has 4 tones plus one, which is a neutral tone, you simply make a different word if you put a different tone. So in that case, you cannot make a question, or usually you don't make a question by raising or dropping your voice, because at the end, what you will be dropping is the tone in the word, and then you will be making a new word. So look at this. Different tones will make you pronounce a different word. Like for example, for mother, the first tone, which is a high tone, high, it's high and steady. You just keep it high. You say ma, okay, ma, that's mother. For the second word, if instead of ma you say ma, as if you were asking a question, ma, then you're not saying mother, you're saying num. Okay. The third tone, which is horse, is with a low, let's say, well, low high tone, which is down and up, which is ma. Okay, ma. You drop and then you go up. Now you are saying horse. And then the last, which is scold, scold you say with the fourth tone, which is a very sharp downward tone, which is ma. Okay, ma. Now you're saying a totally different word. And then for questions, you will end the utterance with the word ma if it is a yes/no question. How does that work? It's just like the interrogative mark, like the question mark in English, but that is simply a word just for yes/no question. So if I ask you, like, do you like coffee? Instead of saying do you like coffee and then raising my voice, in Chinese or Mandarin, you will say, do you like coffee, ma? And then if I say ma at the end, it means I am asking a yes/no question, and then the Chinese will answer yes or no. It does not have anything to do with ma or anything, because if I say, do you like coffee, ma? Ma, I am pronouncing this word, which is num. Okay, ma, because that's a second tone. So you don't make a meaning in Mandarin using intonation. So be grateful that Spanish, your mother tongue, is so similar to English. Okay, because Chinese have a very hard time figuring out what different intonations in English mean. Okay, and then we have rhythm. Rhythm, it's simply just like in music, right? Rhythm is a beat. Is a difference, the difference between, different sounds and pitches. So in this case, you have basically in yellow, you have all the words that should be pronounced, let's say, more loudly than the others. So these are like the information words or the important words in a sentence. So here it will be something like low or unstressed, then you go high, then you go low again, you will go high again, and then that will give you the rhythm of the sentence. This is how it works in English. What happens to us Spanish speakers is that our rhythm is totally different because we emphasize every single word we say. So when we talk or when we speak English or when we try to follow, I don't know if it has happened to you, when you try to follow an English song, suddenly you start like pronouncing, right, the words, and then suddenly the person is like way farther ahead, because that person kind of like jumped the words, and you try to pronounce all the words, but the person goes faster. It means that the rhythm in English is totally different. This they pronounce it so reduced and so unstressed that it sometimes doesn't even sound. Okay, if you hear a native speaker reading this sentence, I'm sure that these words in yellow are the ones that you will hear more clearly. I'll say, for example, it would sound something like, will you does not, it's not important. So I say, would sell my car because I've gone to France. Okay, that's pretty much what you hear when you hear somebody speaking English. Okay, so the other words are kind of like not important in the sentence. So that makes the rhythm, the English rhythm, different from Spanish. Okay, as I said before, you only convey you only stress in a sentence words that convey or transmit important information. That is what we call in linguistics stress times syllable. Okay, the syllables that are important, that belong to important words, are the ones that we will stress. The rest will be so unstressed or reduced that sometimes they will you will feel that they have even gotten lost from the sentence. It's like, where does he pronounce this word? Like, he doesn't even pronounce it, but it's written here. It's because it is not important. Function words versus content words basically makes a difference. Languages like English, Dutch, and German are this way, like the way I showed before, right? Only some words will be stressed. The other words are simply not important in the sentence. And then we have syllable timed rhythm, which means all the syllables will be pronounced exactly the same duration, okay? And here is where Spanish is. So if you really want to sound like a native English speaker, you should have this into account, okay? Don't pronounce every single syllable that you see written or that you want to say. So just try to figure out which words are really important for you or for the listener to know, and then those are the ones that you will stress. Spanish, Japanese, French, those are example of syllable time rhythm. Okay? And this is just an example of okay, for some reason there was like some feedback there. Okay, this is just an example of English rhythm. As you can see, this is the intonation as it goes high, okay, because I am listing or enumerating things. So say he bought apples, peaches, pears, and oranges, right? And then you drop the voice. Same happens with this, okay? I have 2 pencils, a black pen, and some ink. We went to Paris, and then it's just exactly the same thing, right? Paris, Brussels, Amsterdam, and London, and then it's the same here. Whenever you list things or enumerate things, the intonation goes high, and that makes also the rhythm. The rhythm is not signaled by pretty much anything. Just if you wanna put some rhythm symbols, as some of you stated in the assignment, you will put this big, kind of like dots or balls, like black balls, black dots here. You can also put like smaller ones to represent unstressed syllables. These big balls, like black balls, you put them just on or over the stressed syllables of important words. That's how you signal rhythm in linguistics. Okay, you can write smaller dots like black dots on unstressed syllables, like in this case, for example, peaches. Okay, ches. In this syllable, over this syllable, you can write a smaller black dot or ball. Okay, that's how you do it. So if you didn't find any symbol for rhythm, it's okay, because rhythm is not always represented, graphically represented in transcription. So don't worry about it. Okay. Do you have any questions? Okay, for example, we have this sentence: I like English, and you are supposed to transcribe it. Obviously, you need to start transcribing the sounds that you hear, right? So I like, and then you say English. Okay, I like English. What happens? Now you need to include the prosodic signals. In this sentence, since it is a simple sentence, there's only one clause, and then that clause will be, the end of that clause will be marked by this period. Well, this period, remember, at the end of the utterance, will be transcribed like this, okay? Like a double cross. Never ever do this, okay? Do not leave the transcription without the slashes or the square brackets if you are using square brackets. Always, this is the first thing you have to write, okay? And then you cannot also, right, leave the sentence like this without the double cross signal in the end of the utterance. Otherwise, it will be just a phrase, okay? If it is a phrase, if you're transcribing a phrase, like, for example, like English, then you should not write the double cross because it is a phrase, okay? The double cross only signals the end of the sentence. There should be a sentence in order for you to transcribe a double cross, okay? So remember, single bar, okay? Single bar represents a short, brief pause. In this case, it's like a comma, okay? It's the same as a comma. A double bar is like a colon, semicolon, right? Also a period. When we make like a punto y seguido, okay? Always it's a double bar, and then a double cross. These are the only three things that we will be using in the transcription of the sentences in the workshop today. Okay? So don't worry about the rest. Don't worry about any other prosodic signals. Don't worry about stress, intonation, nothing like that. Okay? You don't have to mark any of those today. Only this. But only if you are transcribing a sentence. Okay? When transcribing words, don't worry about prosodic signals. Do you have any questions?
Okay. Can you repeat, Professor, the last one? The double cross signal? It is for?
Yeah, that's for the end of the sentence, the end of the utterance. Yes. So even if it is a question, okay? Even if it is a question. For example, where is your dad? Okay, where is your dad? The transcription for this will end in a double cross. Okay, it will not end in a question mark. The question mark is not part of any phonetic representation. Remember, the only way for you to know if it is a question or whatever might be just by signaling the intonations and things, but you're not gonna do that in the what do you call it, in the test or anything like that. You're not gonna use that. However, guys, this is very important because we tend to start a sentence with a capital letter. However, we do not use any capital symbols. So it should be exactly the same as the rest, okay? Even though it is capitalized in the sentence, you should not capitalize it in the transcription. Okay, always lowercase letters or lowercase symbols.
Professor,
Yes.
I got a question. So
Sorry.
these are, you said that these are phonemic transcription, right?
Yes, that's phonemic transcription.
Okay, because I've seen some books that when they have WH question or any WH word, the W and the H just switch positions in transcription. So are we gonna apply here or not?
Okay, let me can you say that again? You mean
Yeah,
change?
because I've seen in some books and dictionaries that in the phonetic transcription, the W and the H, they in the transcription they just switch positions, and they write the H first, and then after that the W.
Oh, okay. Now I got you. Yes. In fact, that is not that they switch, because the H here is mute. In fact, it's not part of the transcription. If you see, what happens is that in some dialects, some English dialects, they pronounce the double H as who. Okay, so for example, when they say where, they don't say where, they say where. Okay, where. If you pronounce where, then the transcription of the sounds you make should be this. Where. What. For example, in southern dialects in English, for example, in Texas and those places in the south, they usually pronounce a who. Okay, where, what. So what instead of what. If that is your case, if that is your pronunciation, then there is no problem in pronouncing the H at the beginning. Okay, it is okay. There is no problem. But this is simply a dialectical variation, dialectical difference.
Professor, a question.
Yes.
How do you make then the distinction between the past tense of the verb be and in plural, like where?
Oh, no distinction. No distinction. If the question, for example, let's say the question was, for example, where were your friends? If the question had been, for example, where were your friends, then the transcription would have been the same. Where were your friends? Obviously, your friends here, right? So no distinction. They are homophones. It's the same as which. The same pronunciation. Okay.
Okay. And after the double cross, do we have a bracket? Because I don't see it.
Oh yeah. Sorry. Yes. Yes.
Yeah,
It should be the. Oh, by the way, yes, that's a good point. The square brackets goes inside the slashes or the square brackets. Okay, you cannot write it the other way around. You cannot write it like this. So friends, and then write the slash and then the double cross outside. Okay, that's not how it works. It should be inside the slashes. The slashes enclose everything related to the transcription. The slashes simply signal it starts here and it ends here. Okay, any other questions?
Professor, excuse me, will be you sending to us the introduction of the topic, the lesson you explaining already?
You mean the what?
The other one, the first one, not this one. So this is just a summary you are giving to us. I mean the topic, the whole topic you explain us.
Well, I can give you maybe yeah, I might sit down and type the tips I gave you before if you want. Because obviously the one in the presentation, I will share with you the presentation. So you know that's just for you to know. Remember, we're not gonna include that in any tests or anything like that, but just for you to know. The topics I talked about at the beginning of the class before the presentation, which were basically transcription tips, I might give you some reference, or I might also sit down and type them in Word, so I can share it with you. Okay, maybe. I think it might take some time, but I think I can do it and share it with you.
I will
So
appreciate it. Thank you.
yes, okay, no problem. You're welcome. Okay. By the way, this is the actual. This is the symbol for the y sound, right? In some, just in case, okay, because I know that in the BA program, some English schools use the Sounds of English, which is a textbook written by Professor Rubén Villarreal from Chitre. In that textbook, this symbol is represented like this. Okay, I'm not sure who. I know some of you because I saw in your assignments. I saw information from that reference book. Okay, if that is the case, that you studied phonetics using that textbook and you want to use, or you are going to use, this symbol for the E, it's okay. Even though this is not the actual symbol for the E sound is like a J. What happens is that Professor Villarreal, for simplicity purposes, he used the same symbol as the letter in spelling. So you know, people don't get confused. But in fact, this, if you find it in the IPA chart I sent you the first class in the presentation, if you find it, you will see that this symbol is in fact a vowel sound. A vowel sound that occurs in French, for example, the rounded U sound. Okay, this is represented in this with this symbol. But if you transcribe your like this, it's okay. I don't know if you see it. Okay, I will grade it correctly if you do it like this. If on the other hand, you are used to using the J symbol, it's okay too. Okay, so don't worry about it. I will take that into account. Because I'm not sure who studied or who is from where. I'm not sure where you all are from. Some of you might be from Veraguas. I'm not sure if you use the textbook there. Some others might be from Herrera, and I'm pretty sure that you used Professor Villarreal's book here in Crua, or even in Los Santos. People also use Professor Villarreal's book. Okay. By the way, if you haven't used Professor Villarreal's book, he has great books in phonetics and phonology. Okay, so in case you want them as a reference, I might also get them for you and then send them to wherever you live, because with these pandemics, it's quite complicated to come to Chitre to find the books. But in case you want them as a reference and you don't have them, just let me know, and I can talk to Professor Villarreal, and then, you know, buy them for you, so you can have them. Okay. Any other questions? No, I think that's pretty much it for today. I will be sending you the workshop. By the way, the workshop is in pairs. Okay, you can work in two, like groups of 2 students. Maybe a group of 3 students, or because the workshop is quite long, so I wouldn't suggest that you work by yourself. So if there's any case of somebody here who has no pairs, who has no groups for working on a workshop, then please let me know, so I can get a group for you, or you can say it right now and then try to get a person you can work with.